Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us on a lovely Thursday evening. We got the 15th episode of the Movie Club, in which it still sounds to me that I'm still going with this. People are still tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you that are. So whether you're joining in live or you're going to be tuning in later on a replay, I appreciate it so much. And I'm not going to take too much time here, but I'm really excited tonight. I was looking forward to this for quite a while. Somebody that I've gotten to know a little bit, in other chats, through live streams, seeing them going on the live streams or through their Instagram. But I'm pretty excited tonight. We're going to go ahead and bring on out. We got Miss Jess out here tonight.
Hey, everybody.
So. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing perfect. It's I know we were talking a little bit backstage a little bit before the stream, and it's one of those things that I always get really excited about this, where, you have your regular everyday life, you're working, and maybe you get a little bit, I don't know, little down a little bit, where you're just like, oh, trying to get through the day. And then I'm like, you know what? I have this to look forward to. I got a good friend to meet up with a little bit later and get to have a little chat and talk about a movie here in a bit and see who jumps in on the chat as well. So I appreciate you being willing to jump on here.
Oh yeah, no. Like I said, I've been looking forward to this, and it's gonna be a good time.
Absolutely. So I know there's a lot of streams going on tonight. So that's one thing I was going to say. Anybody that jumps in, whether it's live or on a replay on here, we appreciate you doing that. And we'll go from there. But one thing right off the bat, I said I was going to probably bring it up, but your backdrop. It's
my background. Yes.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Oh,
I love
thank
it.
you.
It's so much better than I got to work on mine so much, but
It grows over time. It develops.
absolutely. So that's one thing that I think that really drew me into a lot of the content you were putting out on Instagram and on YouTube was your collecting, but you're very diverse in your collecting too.
Yes, I am.
So you love your movies. You love
my
your
movies.
horror movies.
I absolutely love my horror.
But you're not confined to that. So
No, and I appreciate that you noticed that very much.
So what are some of the things that really draw you to the collecting? I mean, there's certain areas I've seen anything from VHS tapes to movies to collectibles to Monster High dolls to, I mean, just everything. So is there any area that you're really focusing in on now, or what are you enjoying?
Currently, it's mostly been VHS because it's been so much fun to find it. And it's like really like making a comeback, just like vinyl has recently. So it's like making it's like I would say, not so much infancy, but maybe it's teenage years of growing or whatever. But it's really fun to find, especially like the horror, because it is if you talk to anybody that collects VHS and a horror, it's so hard to find. So when you find it, it's like so much of a rush or a thrill. So I usually find it, like I've been finding it recently at the Goodwill bin outlet, and I was like, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I found this. Nobody picked this up. Wow.
That is so much fun. So I like thrifting as well. It doesn't seem like I have as many options around me that you do. At least some of the videos I see you digging through some of the things that you've found thrifting. I'm pretty amazed about some of the items that you come across, but we have some things around me, but that is such a fun feeling to get something that you enjoy, that you like watching, but at like a great price too. So that helps out so much with this whole hobby. We all know it can get pretty pricey at times.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you get that thing on the cheap, it's okay. It's a fun feeling. So do you have like a list going of like things that you're really on the hunt for, or just kind of keep your eye open?
I'll touch on it really quick.
Yeah, go.
One, since we're going to talk about the movie, I really want House of Wax on VHS.
Okay.
But it's rare. So I've been looking for that, and I found it on Facebook Marketplace. But being in contact with the guy, he's like, I'm going to have a yard sale this weekend. And then he'll message me, no, I'm not having a yard sale. And he lives pretty far from me. So I'm not just going to drive to go get one tape. And, so I am just like, so I'm always like wishful thinking that I find it in the bin. So that's on my list. Completing my Nightmare on Elm Street VHS box set, because when you put them all together, it creates Freddy.
Okay.
So that's like something I've been watching, not watching, but like looking for. And then any of the Slumber Party Massacres, whether it's DVD, Blu-ray, or VHS, I want, those are like my like, like I'm putting out there, I'm manifesting those in the universe that those come across, me.
Those are some of your grails that you want to come
Yes.
across out in the
Mm-hmm.
wild. So no, that's awesome. It's fun to have that because I guess it gets some excitement when you're going out each time to dig through some of the thrifting finds to see if you can come across any of those. So
Yep.
so I know that from your videos, a lot of VHS tapes coming through.
Mm-hmm.
Do you? I know we all kind of run out of room with our collecting, and VHS
Oh,
tapes take up more room than your Blu-ray
yes.
or DVD. Do you find that a challenge that if you enjoy collecting VHS tapes, finding the room to be able to keep
Yes.
those?
Yes. I currently don't have any space for what I have right now. So it started with horror and then it slowly started to be like, oh, I love this movie, I love this movie, and I love that movie. So I've kind of dialed back on that and just like mainly focused on like the horror stuff.
Yeah,
So in my room I keep the horror, and in like so far, like because I'm like moving things around, I have a huge Michael Kors bag full of like the rest of my VHS tapes, which is like 50
yep.
50 or so.
No, it's amazing how much room they take up. You don't realize that until you start stacking them up. You get kind of used to like a Blu-ray or a DVD case,
Hmm.
and then when you have those VHS cases, it's like like two or three of a Blu-ray or something. But that's sitting on a
Hmm.
shelf. But well, cool. So hey, if you don't mind, I know we're not alone out here tonight. I see some
Okay.
people popping in the chat.
No problem.
I might jump in here real quick here, and we
No
kind of
problem.
go through and see what's going on. But we got Draculina.
Hi,
Hey,
Caprice.
Caprice, how we doing? Hello, darling. So excited to see my lovely Miss Jess and amazing Corey tonight. Thank you, sweetie. It's always fun to have you in the chat. And I'm sorry, you're probably going to hear my dog bark at some point, but
No problem.
the rest of the family's hanging out with him. But he decides he wants to talk when a live stream's going on. So we got Johnny in here. What's Johnny watching? Saying, "What's up, cool kids?"
Johnny.
Allie is in here. She goes, "It's go time. I've been looking forward to this stream ever since it was announced, since House of Wax is one of my favorite horror movies."
Hey, Allie.
So she was one of the first ones that
Hmm.
sent a message to me when I posted this. And she was like, "Oh," she was like, "Yeah, you need to watch this." And I'm interested to find out what you think about it. So we got Holland in
Hey,
here saying,
Holland.
Corey, Miss Jess. People saying hi to each other. I'll kind of try to run through here real quick here. Allie was saying a stream about House of Wax is the only place I want to be. We got Mika in here.
Hi, Mika.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Jess girl. I always love seeing your streams too, all of you all together.
With all the girls. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Do you
We
have any? Can I have a sneak peek? If is anything in
um
the plans or?
we've been discussing about having one next month, but we all
Okay.
just, it's all about, getting the date together and all of our schedules.
Oh
So
yeah.
tentatively in May. Tentatively.
Awesome. Awesome. I'll be tuning in for that. I'd like to see that. So it's amazing though. Sometimes when you start doing this, you don't realize, not that I'm like super involved with everything, but how much scheduling there is, and just even the two of
Exactly.
us scheduling up a time that works for both of us to do it. But let alone when you have a
We have
group
like,
of people,
yeah.
it can get challenging for sure. So saying hi, Draculina saying hello. We'll run through some of these here real quick, but I appreciate everybody jumping in tonight. It's awesome. If I miss anybody's comment in the chat, I apologize. I try to do a nice little balance act of having our little talk and
Hmm.
hanging out here with Jess tonight, and being able to also talk to everybody out in the chat as well. But you
Thank
can
you,
say,
Mika.
killing it. Yeah, absolutely. We were just talking about that because it's I love seeing your thrift finds, because there's been some of those where I'm like, I wish I had some places around me that
Hmm.
I could find things that you're throwing out on some of your videos. So it's fun to watch.
Thank you.
Yeah. Saying hi to Johnny. Allie's saying, if I'm not mistaken, Jess is a fan of Grease too.
Yes, I
And
am.
okay. All right. So you and Allie, you're together on that one. And if that's true, in addition to her loving House of Wax, she's the coolest, and we need to be besties.
Let's see if it does it. Usually it does if you make the little heart. There it
Oh,
is.
there you go.
There you go.
There you go, Allie. You got a Bessie heart there. So, hey guys, we got Michelle in
Hi,
here.
Michelle.
We were just talking about the group of ladies doing
Hmm.
the streams. I'll look forward to another one coming out here. So I had Michelle, Shelly. So, should run through these real quick. I love this though. I love seeing everybody jump out and
Yeah.
say hi.
Interacting with each other.
I'm still trying to get it a little better at it. You know, the balancing act of running through them and talking to everybody and to you. But it's fun to see. It's like
Hey, Tony.
oh, I just dropped right past that. Tony, I'm sorry. I thank you for calling me out on that one. I
It's okay.
went right past. But Tony, thanks for dropping in, man. He's a good guy.
Yes. Hey, Tiana.
Saying hi, Tiana. Tiana is always out supporting everybody. She's awesome.
Oh, there's Mika.
There you go. Yep, Mika saying us ladies are going to make it happen. Love hanging with my girls, and we like watching it too. So it's always cool to see. We got Ashley in here saying, "What's up, dude? My dudes."
Mhm.
Thanks for joining in. This is awesome. You know, it's a little bit to go through the chat, but at the same time, I'm never going to complain about it because I love seeing everybody jumping in, saying hi to each other or saying hi to us and saying hi. We got Cody in here saying, hey, what's up,
Hey,
Corey and
Cody.
Jess? All right. We'll see here. Thanks, man. Everybody keeps on
Oh, good
going.
Tony to regulate.
Yep. Yep. He's in here. He's going to keep everybody in line. Saying hi to Tony. Saying hi to Ashley. I love it. I love it. Oh, wait. Here we go. We got Mel.
Hey, Mel.
Whoop, whoop.
With the
VH Jess.
yes.
I love that little, your new handle for that. And it's so fitting
Yes,
too.
it's very fitting. Thanks. Yeah, thank you, Mel. She came up with it. Mhm.
Oh, that's very creative. So it's fun because it works so well. And
Mhm.
you're a big collector of the VHS, and I know she is too. So it's kind of
Mhm.
cool to. I love watching you all putting out your videos, showing off what you're getting. I still have a bunch from my old days of collecting it, but I think we all have those horror stories of getting rid of stuff when you thought you were done with it and moving on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So there's so many VHS tapes and DVDs that I got rid of that I just wish I would not have done. Do you have any situations like that, whether it's VHS or DVDs or CDs or cassette tapes?
Yes. Unfortunately, yes. Like one of them, for my birthday, my mom bought me one of the Scream variants for my birthday.
Mm.
I can't quite remember if it was Courtney Cox or Drew Barrymore. And I went to go get it from my mom's house, and my mom, because my mom still has all of our VHS tapes, I couldn't find it for the life of me. And I'm like, did I get rid of it? What happened? And I just lost it. So I had to like find it again. So I've since, have it replaced, but I was like, dang, why did I do that?
I know. I think we all have stories like that. I have so many
Hmm.
times where I'm like, why did I do that? You know, I just wish I still had it on the shelf or whatever. But, so do you have anything right now in your collection? We'll stick with, to try to
Okay.
narrow it down, VHS tapes.
Okay.
Do you have any that you're just like, I will never get rid of this tape? This is something that I really cherish and it's going to be with me forever.
Ooh,
I know I'm
just
putting you on the
one
spot.
item?
I know. So if you need
One
to think
item?
about it, we can come back to it too. So I don't want to put you on too much on the spot, but
We'll have to come back to it.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll come back to it. We'll come back to
Okay.
it. I always hate that because I'm like that too. Sometimes some of those questions you want to think about for a little bit, but yeah, it's always that balancing act of room. We're talking about running out of room,
Hmm.
the things we like to collect, and then whether you get to that point where you need to thin things out a little bit. And if you're going to do that, making those choices of which things you can let go of and which things, nope, it's staying no matter what.
Hmm.
It's always a tough one. We got saying hi. Look at that. A lot of love for you out here tonight. I love seeing it. So Miss
Oh,
Jess,
thank
so
you, Tiana.
awesome.
Okay, for sure, I will never get rid of my Demon Knight VHS because it's just, something, a movie quotable that my sisters and I quote all the
Uh,
time.
awesome.
Plus, it's signed by Billy Zane. So,
Oh, you can't get rid of that.
so that I will never get rid of. That will stay no matter what.
See, I don't have anything awesome like that. I don't have any. I don't have any movies signed. That would be. Oh yeah, no, I could see that for sure. You got to hang on to that thing. So,
Hmm.
fun movie, and to have the autograph on there as well. So,
He was just as excited to sign it because I was like, when am I going to have him sign? They have pictures there that you can,
oh yeah.
pick out. And I'm like, no, I have this. And he's like, oh, I love this. And it's on VHS. And I'm like, yeah.
So that's got to be even more fun when you go to what was it like at a convention or something
Yes.
that?
It
Okay,
was at a convention.
okay. To have when you can see that they're excited about signing something, because I'm sure everybody that is being paid to autograph things have
Hmm.
certain things that just like I see millions of this same thing over and over and over again. And then
Hmm.
you brought something that means a lot to you, and to have them be excited to
Excited.
sign it,
Yeah.
that's kind of a cool thing to have
Hmm.
happen. So, well, very cool. Do you do that a lot? Do you go to a lot of conventions? Being able,
No, because there's nothing super close to me, that would make it worth going to a
hmm.
convention. So when they come to like my town, I will see who's coming, and I'm like, oh well, let's go. Like last year, we went to a horror convention because I won free tickets playing horror trivia. So
Nice.
so that's why we went, but we had a great time.
Well, cool. We don't get a lot of big ones around me. I'm in a smaller area, but I would love to go to. I've never really been to a big convention.
Hmm.
So I gotta. I'm gonna track some down. I was trying to message some people earlier this year to kind of give me some ideas of things in their area that
Hmm.
they have going on, and to see if any would work out to be able to go to. But I think that'd be a pretty cool thing. Just see a lot of like-minded people hanging out, enjoying the similar films,
Hmm.
and then maybe get to meet some people like that, like you said, getting Billy Zane's autograph on your VHS tape.
Hmm.
Definitely. So, all right, we got a few more here saying hi to each other. Michelle was saying, I love seeing that Jess picks up while she's out shopping. Yeah, we were just
Oh,
talking
thank you,
about that. Yeah,
Michelle.
yep. Before we got on, I was saying that was one thing that always amazed me is like some of your thrift finds, and
Hmm.
the VHS tapes that you were bringing out from some of your shops. And I was like, I was getting jealous. I don't have a lot of things like that where I find.
It's all been the Goodwill outlet, but you gotta like dig. I mean, I had like I had a battle wound last week or the week before.
I saw that. I saw
My
that.
like I sliced my finger open with a plate, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's fine. And then like 30 seconds later, I'm like, I'm not fine. And I'm like, thank God they had like a first aid kit there because I'm like wrapping it up.
The things we do, the links we go to add to our collection, right?
Yeah, I was not letting go of those tapes, that's for sure.
You're like, I'm gonna get bandaged up, but I'm keeping these things. So,
Hmm.
but no, I did see that. So yeah, that's just part of the because it sounds like some of the places you go to, they just have some big bends that you dig
Yeah, it's
through.
literally just like 30 or so bins that you can go through, and they rotate them out every hour. So it's
That's
not just the
crazy.
same things every it's not like the same things you go in and they'll rotate them out, I'm like, and it's just like a frenzy most of the time.
That's crazy. So you ever hang out for a while just to see
Hmm.
what the next
I'll
round will
usually
be,
do
or
2 to 3 rotations, which is like 3 hours.
okay.
Yeah, depending on like what I got going on that day or how hungry I am.
Exactly. So can you just like throw in some earbuds, listen to some music, and have a couple rounds of those go through, and you kind
Hmm.
of see what you got.
Yeah.
But
I've had, you like see like the usual people there, and there's like this one guy that's like, what are you looking for? And I'm like, oh, just VHS tapes. And he's like, what kind? I'm like, horror. And then like I was just walking around, and he was like, do you want this? And they weren't horror VHS. It was like it was a Metallica VHS.
okay,
So,
okay,
and I'm like, okay, I'll
sure.
take it.
Well, it's cool when you can find some friends. So in that, like you said, you start recognizing people that you're going out at the same time to go through that, and it's kind of like with YouTube as well, where I've run into people in certain chats, and we've gotten to talk outside of those
Hmm.
as well. And when you start making some of those friends where they figure out things you like, you figure out things they like, and it's cool when you have people kind of looking out for you a little bit. Where I'll have somebody be like, "Hey, I came across this. Do you want this?" Or
Hmm.
I'll come across something and be like, "Hey, is this something you're still looking for?" And you just have people. There's certain times where things just don't show up in your area, and you have people
Hmm.
across the country then basically watching out and helping you find things that you want to grab. So
Yeah, exactly. I've had that happen quite a few times myself, like
yeah, that's
just through
cool.
like meeting people on Instagram. But
Yeah.
most of the times when I'm digging through the stuff, it's always under the Christmas trees. Always under the Christmas trees.
Yeah. Under the Christmas trees, like at the
At the
stores or
bins, yeah, because
okay,
it's
okay.
just it's not like they will out a bin full of media. Like you gotta like lift stuff up and be like, oh, that's where they put all the tapes under the Christmas trees. So when I see the Christmas trees, that's where I go straight. I'm like, Christmas trees, lift it up. Sure enough, there they are.
So that's what I've been feeling like lately with these whole everybody talking about the $5 steelbooks, 4K steelbooks at Walmart, and they
Hmm.
have the bins. That's been my experience with really digging and trying to find something in a big old pile of things. So I can see there's a little excitement because you don't know if you're going to find something or not. But at the same time, you got people walking by wondering what you're doing when you're digging through this
Yeah.
whole big stack of
Yeah,
movies. But
sometimes you take a shopping cart with you and just
yep,
like put them in there so that way
yep.
you're not, just not, what is it, like, spinning sand or whatever, like when you're trying
Oh
to
yeah,
back out. Yeah.
yeah, yep. No, I'm not afraid to admit that I have done that. So have you had many? I'm going to roll through some of these here quick
Hmm.
too. But have you had any luck with the WalMarts and the $5 steel books that a lot of people have been
I don't
talking
have
about?
any of those bins where I live,
Okay, okay.
so no.
So don't bring it up. Sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. Yeah, I
I
don't have.
see.
It's okay.
We got Jeff in here tonight saying good
I do
evening,
have the
everyone.
steelbook end caps, where everybody else was looking for those,
Oh
like
yeah, cool.
they're talking about those. So I have those, but I don't have the bins.
Don't have those. Yeah, I have a few different Walmarts within a reasonable distance from me, and if I get traveling around them, I'll stop at them, and it's kind of hit or miss between them. Like one of them still does not have the end cap with the steel books, the others do, and then a couple of them have the big $5 bins, and a couple don't. So
Hmm.
it's just I think that's one thing that people have been frustrated with. Seeing other people find them, but there's just not a lot of consistency across the stores. So it's not like you for sure can find them. They don't even know if,
Yeah.
it's going to be there. So we got people saying hi again. Sorry, we'll go run through here
No
real quick. Tony saying great group in the
group in
chat.
the chat.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Makes my job hard, but it's a good way, in a good way.
In a good way. Yeah.
Yep. In a good way. Not complaining. I love it. Saying hi to everybody. The stream brought out all the cool kids. Yep.
Yep.
And me. No. Saying hi to everybody. I no longer purge from my collection because of the
Of the
regret.
regret.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's real though.
Hmm.
Like I said, we all have those stories where we've gotten rid of something and looked back at it and wished we hadn't. And I definitely have a few of those. Get everybody saying hi. Just kind of jump through here to see what's going on. Those Scream variant VHS covers are stunning.
Yes, I have all of them.
So those got to
Even
be
a
pretty.
custom one.
Oh, custom one?
Yeah, I even have one custom VHS
That's
screen.
cool because I've seen some people do some really cool custom sleeves for VHS tapes, and it's kind of cool what people
I'll
can
show
put out.
you. I have it right here.
Yeah, go for it.
Um, it's this one. The tape is out, but the guy painted that on the inside for me of the actual case.
Nice.
So that's what it looks like. It's
That's
just so now it's
cool.
just a piece of art.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's
He was
cool.
like, what do you want on the inside? And I'm like, a Billy, of course.
Do you have to even ask?
Exactly.
I love that. That's awesome. I love seeing people being creative and doing things like that. I don't have
Hmm.
that creativity or the talent probably, but I love seeing people do it. We got a couple more hellos in here. Yep. Tony, I'm
No.
trying not to miss anybody either. Jess has an awesome collection. Love the backdrop. Chucky doll, Monster High set. Yep.
And they match because it's the Chucky Monster High.
Yep. So that's where I said, like, backstage before we went live, one of the first things I was like, I need to work on my background because like your background, I love looking at that because I could just sit and just like start picking out
like, what's that behind you? Can you show that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Chucky, Monster High, Ghostface. You got the Scream custom artwork, you know, the VHS cover, and I love seeing it. So is this your special? Is this your room that most of your collection is in that you're at right now?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Okay.
But of course, you know, I sit in front of the horror shelf, but like I have two more shelves that way that are like the middle shelf is all my Blu-rays, and then the next shelf over is all my DVDs.
Okay.
And then I have two shelves right there that have my horror books and the rest of my TV shows and DVDs.
Cool. Very cool. No, you got a lot going on there. I love it. I love it. Michelle was saying, Corey, does the rest of the family enjoy movies as much as you do? I'm going to say no, but not in a bad way. They enjoy movies, but we have different tastes in movies. So we'll just say that. And that's not a knock on it, but you know, everybody's got their own thing that they get into, that they enjoy watching. They get into more. So my son and I, we would watch some similar movies. He's older. He's out of the house now. So he's out of state. So I don't have him to watch those movies with. And my wife and daughter, we'll just say we have different tastes in movies. There's some crossover that we'll enjoy watching together, but they get into more TV shows or Netflix shows, I'd say, or reading. So that's kind of their things that they like to get into. So you and your husband, do you enjoy a lot of the same movies?
We do. Like we have different tastes, but where we cross over is like, you know, where we like, if there's a new horror movie, like when we went to go watch The First Omen, he was like, I told him like we need to go watch The First Omen because I know that's one of his favorites. And I was like, okay, so you know, as far as ours crossovers, like the horror genre, and some TV shows here and there, but that's it.
Yeah. No, it's I think that's a lot of couples that I've talked to are like that, or families. You know, it's like you got some crossover area, but you have some areas that are just your thing, and which is cool. So,
like, I can hear him right now. He's watching some like weird science fantasy. His thing is science and fantasy mostly. And
okay.
I'm like, what are you watching? And he's like, something on Apple TV, and I'm like, okay.
So that would be like me walking into the living room with my wife and daughter. They're both crying, and I'm like, is everything okay? Yeah, we're just watching this movie and they're crying, you know, and I'm like, well, do you want to shut it off? No, it's really good, you know, and they're crying away. But so it's like you're saying, like, he's watching some science fiction or, you know, fantasy movie that you're just like, what are you watching? He's like, no, it's good. It's all right. So Allie was wanting to know, what's your favorite song from Grease 2?
Grease 2. It's either... It's a tie between Cool Rider and the song she sings for the talent show. I don't even know if it has a title to it, but you know, where she has a little star in her head. I don't know what it's called, but those two.
Okay. You know, it's been ages since I've seen that movie, so I have to maybe go back and watch that.
Rewatch it, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Sean in here saying good evening, everyone. Thank you, sir. Saying hi to Sean. All right, we'll fly through here real quick. Like I said, I don't want to miss anybody. I'd hate missing somebody, but got Mark in here. Thanks, bud. Saying what's up, everybody. Saying Mark, everybody. Oh, here we go. Sean's just subbed to Miss Jess.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So I shouldn't go any more further. So I don't forget, where can people find you? What are things you're doing that you would like people to go out, check out, and, you know, maybe follow you?
Mainly I'm the most active on my Instagram.
Okay.
So of course it's Miss Jess. But it's M1 Miss_Jess. Because Instagram said it was already taken, so I had to use a 1. So.
Yep.
And same thing on YouTube, Miss Jess. I try to spell the same, so that way it's, you know, less confusing.
Oh, sure. No, absolutely. And I should have both of those tagged in the description. So anybody, please, if you're not following Jess, just please go out there, check them out, and give her a follow. Check out her stuff. She's got a lot of cool things she's putting out there. So
And my YouTube is very, uh, it's often, but it's not. I try not to, make it my whole like life personality because then I don't want to burn myself out. So when I feel like putting something out, I'll put it out. Like, oh, this would be a cool video, or this would
Yeah.
make a cool idea for a video.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very, couple of weeks.
Well, keep it fun for you. It's not a job.
Yeah.
It's for fun. And
Yes, exactly.
if you get to where it's a grind and you're feeling like it's a job at that point, maybe that's not what you want to be doing. So,
Hmm.
yeah, do what you can. Like I said, I'm kind of the same way where I don't know. I'm still figuring out my lane, I guess,
Hmm.
with this whole thing, but having fun meeting people along the way. So we'll just go with it.
Well, I think you've kind of found your lane then.
Well, I appreciate that. Hopefully it's okay, Lane, and hopefully people enjoy it enough. I'm having a blast with it, and it's my guilty. It's not a guilty pleasure, but I love being able to like. So like you, I've ran into you in other chats on
Hmm.
live streams. I've ran into you on Instagram, and just to be able to reach out and be like, hey, you want to have a chat and talk about a movie, and it's a great excuse to be able to get to know somebody a little bit better that you've run into out in the community. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like in real life when you're working
Exactly.
with somebody and you're like, you get to know them in work and you're like, hey, let's go grab a cup of coffee and hang out and, chat. And,
Hmm.
it's fun to be able to do that. So, Ashley was saying thrifting is by far the most fun when, adding to the collection.
It
Yeah.
is. Hmm.
You can
Easier on the
find,
wallet.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. I have nothing against that at all. I love doing that. And I think that brings a lot of excitement to it too. When you like find a movie that you're like, you know what, this would have cost brand new, and
Hmm.
you found it for the whatever price you did. It's fun to be able to do that. Okay, saying hi to each other. We'll throw through here. So there's a few other things I want to hit
Okay.
you up about. Sorry, I'm trying to do the balancing act. I'm still working
No,
at
it's
it,
okay.
but I appreciate you hanging in with me. But
No, sorry.
Sean was saying I have had bad luck for finding movies at Walmart. I have to drive another 35 minutes to find some steelbooks, and overall, it's more miss than hit for me. Yeah,
Mm.
and that's where it's just not very consistent. I've heard, some people are like, "Oh, I found another huge stack of them," and other people are like, "I've never seen one here." So
Hmm.
you go saying that Scream case is awesome.
Thank you, Mika.
I do like that. That is awesome. Yeah, Billy, of course. Jess knows what's
Yes,
up.
I do.
Hey, and I cannot blame you at all. I can understand. So I'm not a big Scream fan, but that's a very cool case to see.
Thank you.
I was saying the talent show, a song that Stephanie sings is called Love Will. Turn back the hand of time. I love that one too. Her Christmas tree outfit is everything.
See, I didn't know the name. I was like, turn back the hand of time. I don't know. It's like, but I'm glad you knew what I was talking about.
I don't know why that made me think of the Cher song.
And no, I'm sorry. It's like I immediately thought of the same thing. Like I'm like that sounds like share.
Yep, exactly. Allie was saying another Grease 2 question, because why not? It's rare that I meet another fan. Who's your favorite of the guys? I love Johnny and Lewis.
Okay, so it's changed. When I was younger, it used to be Johnny. It used to be Johnny. But now that I'm older, it's Michael. Oh,
Michael.
unless you well, he technically does become a T-bird at the end of the movie, so like we'll count it.
I love it. I got to watch it again now. It's been so long. I have seen it, but you have some of those movies that it's just been so many years since you've watched the thing
Hmm.
that it just escapes you a little bit, or at least for me. And I'm like, I need to go back and give that a rewatch now. So
Well, I think Allie and I have given you an incentive to go back and watch it
yeah,
now.
absolutely. So I got my little notepad here. I do this every single time. I start writing down suggestions that people give me on the chat, whether it's through the chat or the
Fine.
guests that I have on. So I just wrote down Grease 2. I'm gonna have to go back to that one. So Tony saying I don't grab a coffee or chat with people I work with, but would with everybody here.
Aw.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Tony. I know. You know what I was saying, though. It's just like when acquaintances, somehow you
Hmm.
run across them, but then you have that chance to be able to sit down and get to know them a little better, you know? So, and Jeff was saying, "Ha, Tony."
Yep. Mhm.
Ashley saying, "Same, Tony." I love it. All right, we might be getting down towards the end of the chat here. So, yep. Michael, yep, I love Michael too. He's a great guy. Michael, you got some fans for Michael apparently.
Yay.
So I'm gonna have to watch that and keep an eye out for him. So, okay, so we will get to our movie eventually, but I am, like I said, this is my excuse to get to know people a little bit better that I've ran
Mhm.
into in the community. And one thing that we were hitting on a little bit before we came on live was I've been seeing a lot of posts recently. Well, I've seen them before in the past, but recently
Mhm.
a lot of concert videos and posts that you've had on
Yeah.
there. So it seems like, is that a common interest or love that you and your husband have together that
Yes.
you share?
It is. It's very much something we enjoy doing together. I'm usually the one that's dragging him to the shows because he's like, "Here's my card, buy the tickets," and I'm like, "Okay," you know. Because
And you
like at
know
the
that you have to come
yeah,
with me now, right?
yeah, yeah. Because I was, people may think I'm crazy, but we were there. I know the show's going to be sold out, and I know what to expect. But I immediately emailed him on Tuesday. I'm like, "You're gonna have to find a way there because I'm going early to get in line." And he was like, "Calm down. I have it all planned out. I'm leaving home early. Leaving to come home early so I can take you, drop you off, come home, get ready, and then I'll meet you." I thought I was early, getting there at 2:30. I was not early. There was already people waiting in line since 10 o'clock in the morning. So it's that people still do that.
Yeah.
But I waited there all afternoon in line. I still have my stamps. They haven't washed off from the other night, the last 2 nights. But
Oh,
yeah, and then you just like, and then he was like, "Well, do you want the balcony or do you want to go on the bottom?" I look at him, I'm like, you know where to find me." So I'm like, he was up top, and he was just like, he's like, I'm like, so I texted him from like the barricade, and I'm like, "Can you see me?" And he sends me a picture. He's like, "Yeah, I can see you," and it's just nothing but people, and he's like, "But I can see you,"
it's
and
like,
I'm
where's
like,
Waldo?
exactly, exactly.
So I still remember, I'm old enough where I remember there was a couple department stores before internet. So there was a
Mhm.
couple department stores that were kind of Ticketmaster outlets,
Mhm.
and you would have to go into that department store. It was like a customer service counter, and they could sell you tickets when concerts were coming around in the
Mhm.
80s and 90s. And yeah, I remember a couple times going with some friends and lining up, and it's like at a JC Penney's or a Sears or something like that, and you're like lined out next to like a kids section, but you're waiting to try to get Motley Crue tickets or something. It was always kind of funny. It was kind of weird, but that's how you had to get them at the time. Where so it's so different now. Now you online you have the waiting queues that you get into,
Yeah. Ugh.
and then you're like, okay, is it still working? And you're hoping like the internet didn't glitch out and you're just frozen on the screen, and you're like, am I still in queue to wait for getting these tickets? And
I know. I don't like that. I don't know. I
so
don't like that.
yeah, I know it's just yeah, it's just a hard thing where you don't know. You don't want to refresh because you don't want to get out of your line, but at the same time, I've had so many moments where it's just like, oh, this hasn't
Is
moved
this
for a while.
working?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. I don't want to be sitting here for nothing, kind of a
Exactly.
thing. But so one recent one I saw you throw out there, oh, and I'm completely blanking on who probably was the headlining band, but one that I was talking about seeing them open up for a different band. I was having a conversation, but was Cold.
Oh yes.
They were opening up. It looked like for I can't remember which one you had on there, but that's one.
I'm going to go see that show Sunday, but it's a
Okay,
co-headlining tour with the band Orgy.
yeah, 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 yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. No, I was. It was funny because I saw that, and I. It's funny how things work and kind of come around. But I was just literally talking about some old concerts with a friend that I met through YouTube as well, and there was a show I saw that it was the openers were Cold and Hurt, and
Mm-hmm.
it was for Godsmack. And I was just talking about that. And when I saw that pop up, I was like, I hadn't seen Cold, the
And
band's
forever.
name for a
Yeah.
while, so it's kind of cool to see. But
And like I mentioned before, again, they're going to Vegas, so they're stopping hereafter. So I
Yeah.
got lucky.
So that's what's kind of cool. And I was saying that too, where I'm in a smaller area where it seemed like there'd be a huge tour going along, to like Chicago, St. Louis, Minneapolis, Kansas City. And some of the opening bands on those travel days would break away and go to
Hmm.
some smaller areas like mine and have their headlining tours, along that tour. So that was a lot of my concerts I saw were some of those headlining shows,
Hmm.
breaking off and doing their own thing at a smaller club or something in between, on those travel days. So it's always kind of fun to see. So do you have a preference on where you go to see concerts? Do you like the small, intimate, like just general admission bar areas, or do you like the big arenas, or what do you get
I like the
into?
smaller ones the
Yep.
most. I do because we have like a huge one here, a huge amphitheater here, and it's okay. But it's a bit of a drive. Everything is overpriced, and
Yeah.
because it's like way out in the middle of nowhere, you're kind of like stuck. You have to pay for the 13 bottle dollar water.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
but we have a new place here where I was at the last 2 nights. It's like centralized, and it's not too big. It's not too small. It's a 3,000 capacity, and I like it. So I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the shows that I got coming up there. So.
Oh, that's cool. I haven't been out to any yet this year. Last year was such a bad year for me. Like I have a buddy that I've known since high school, and I went to college with him for a little bit too. And it's one of those guys that you have one of those friends that you could go, like, not exaggerating, like 6 months to a year without talking to them,
Hmm.
and you talk again, and it's like you just talked last week. You pick up where you left off.
Hmm.
But we're always sending each other like, hey, check this band out or check this song out, and texting,
Hmm.
links to a song. And he's one that is always going out to concerts, and I love it. I wish I could go and be with him more often on those, but him and his wife will go out all the time. Last year there was 4 different concerts we had tickets bought for, and all 4 times we had to sell the tickets because something else came up and
Oh,
we couldn't go, and it was such a bummer. But anymore, the tickets, they sell them so far out in advance.
yeah.
It's kind of hard, well, especially the bigger ones where it's like, I mean, there's some that, I mean, you're over 6 months out, or so
Hmm.
for the show, and you don't always know what's going to pop up in that next 6 months. But I agree. I like those smaller shows too, where you can have a little more room. I'm weird. I love being around people. I love talking to people. I love concerts, but I am selectively antisocial, I say sometimes. So, but you know what I mean? Like there's sometimes
Yeah.
where it gets too big, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, I love the idea of it. I want to go there, but there's sometimes where I'm just like, and that's where I maybe have to get drug out to the concert, at the last
Like,
minute.
like.
Yeah, yep. But so, not to go too far off topic, but
Mhm.
so from some of the things you posted, so is your husband in a band?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
He's a
So,
musician.
okay. So is he play bass
He
or?
plays bass.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought I saw some pictures of that, and I'm like, that looks like I'm not going to claim to be a big
Yeah, he's a
musician,
bass player.
but so he's got a band that he does some stuff with as well.
Yes, he plays locally. He has two bands. And it's funny you ask because he has a show that I have to be going with him on Saturday. Um, that he's playing. But yeah, sometimes I'll go. Sometimes I'll stay home. He we've been together like 19 years, so I've seen him play quite a few times. So I'm allowed to stay home every now and then.
Yeah, like you've put your time in. You got
Yes, I
it.
have. Hmm.
That's awesome. So 19 years. That's awesome.
Hmm.
This year will
Yes.
be 24 for my wife and
Oh
I. So
wow.
yeah. So August will be 24. So that you're not too far off of that. So it's
No,
kind of cool. But yeah, like you said, after 19 years, you've put your time in on some of
I
those.
have. Hmm.
That was awesome. It's kind of cool to have people that have that, you know, release of, something creative that they can do and
Hmm.
put out there. I never was, I love music, but I was never, I didn't have that talent to
Yeah.
play
He
or
has
sing.
his bands and gigs, and then I have he like he says he's like you have your YouTube, and I'm like so we have our things,
Yeah,
our
absolutely.
separate hobbies.
So does he ever jump on with you? I just got out of
No.
curiosity. No, that's
Mm-mm.
not an interest for him.
No, I think he would freak out. Like it's a different kind of like scenario or situation for him. I don't think he'd be uncomfortable being in camera, but he's done like band videos and stuff, but I don't know. This might be different for him because it's live. I don't know. I don't know.
So that's so interesting to me. And but I'm like that with certain things too. Like I was just talking about, I love concerts, I love music, but there's certain
Hmm.
times where I'm just like I'm not feeling that environment and want to be
Hmm.
around that many people. But that's always interesting. So like he is in a couple bands you said and like
Hmm.
playing live in front of people, but
Hmm.
the webcam might be something different where it's just like no.
Yeah, because I know he doesn't like doing like the webcam for work, so that's why I say
Sure,
he might
sure.
not do. He might not like it, but who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. No, sorry, I've just like I said, I kind of go off the rails a little bit talking
Oh
about
no, no,
things,
no.
but
It's cool.
yeah,
I tell you're I'm cool with it.
very good, very good. Allie was saying, oh, she needs to do one for Grease too now. So we have, so this movie that we're gonna eventually talk about, I promise. It was one of her favorites, but then one that I'm gonna do with her that she really wanted me to see was Pineapple Express that I had not seen before. So
Uh,
that's the
I've
one I'm
seen
gonna
that
do with
a
her.
long time ago.
That's one of them that you always get some of those are people like, I cannot believe you have not seen that before. So, well, guys, thanks for jumping in, saying hi to both of
Hello.
us. Run through a couple more of these just real quick, but Sean was saying, cool to see you've got an upcoming interview with Corey on his channel. I'll try to be there for that. I love Corey with these live streams and opens me up to new channels. Yeah. Well, this was kind of fun. And
Yeah,
sometimes there are channels that I've been following you for quite a long
for a
time.
while.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
because we've had conversations before you even
Hmm.
started your channel. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what's kind of fun is being somebody that I've had conversations with before I even started diving into this whole thing, but then
Hmm.
finally get to talk to you,
Hmm.
one on one. It's cool to be able to do that. Yeah, I was always the one that was kind of just jumping in on the chats or on Instagram, like
Hmm.
responding to things, but never knew if I wanted to go into this part of it. So we're trying it out still. So
Yeah.
how long have you been doing it on YouTube?
Um, 2 years, 2 years, maybe three. I'm not sure when I started. I would say 20. Let's say late 2021. I don't. No, 22. I'll say 22.
So I'd like to go back and look at how many channels started 2020 and, past,
Yeah.
where especially when there was that moment of time where we were hanging out at home a lot more than usual. And it seemed like there was a lot of YouTube channels and Instagram channels that started up. For whatever reason, I didn't, but I was jumping in on other people's channels. So,
Yeah.
but that's quite a while now. So
Hmm.
you still enjoying it? You still having fun with it?
Sometimes I've taken like a break, like a 3 to 4 month break because I'm just like I'm not feeling it and I don't want to get to the point where like I don't want to do it anymore. So I'm like, okay, let's just hold the reins a little while and then I'll get back into it. But yeah, I was having this conversation before with Joe Martinez, and he was like, "Well, are you going to do another haul video with all your tapes?" And I'm like, "I honestly don't know if I want to because personally, I I don't feel like I don't put like I feel like I'm not putting like all my heart into it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm just like kind of about it.
Going through the
So I think,
motions.
yeah, so I think I'm gonna give it some time before I do like another haul video. But I have ideas for other things I want to talk about on my channel. So
Oh,
like I'll
cool.
put those first ahead of any more haul videos. So
Yeah. And I hear that from so many people that have been doing it for a while where,
mm-hmm.
you still have fun doing what you were doing, but you
Mm-hmm.
just want to branch out a little bit. And it can be scary, like
Mm-hmm.
if you, not scary, but you know what I mean? Like it's a chance to go out there, but I think that's cool. Like branch out, do different things. If it's something that interests you and you're going to have fun with, it's good to do that. It's not this is not something you have to do, and there's no rules, like you only can
Yes.
talk about this, like, like
Mm-hmm.
just talk about whatever you want to do. And as long as you're having fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Got Chris C in here saying hi, everybody, and slash that like. Thank you, sir. All right, we're going to run through a couple more here real quickly. Oh, I jumped by that one. Sean was saying, hey, Ollie, it's cool to see you got an interview coming up with Corey. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
St. Chris just kills the concert game. That's that's something the double and I do a lot. Okay, cool. I love
Oh,
live
nice.
music. Yeah. Oh, cool. I'd love to dig into that
You're
sometime
gonna
with
have to
you.
bring the twins on.
I know. Talk about some of their concerts they're going to. I'd love to hear that. I always get people giving me grief because I'm Wilkie's movies and music, but I definitely lean into movies way, way more. And some people are like, when are you going to talk about music? And I do once in a while, but I also came up with the name probably a year and a half before, and I posted it. Like I created the channel probably a year and a half before I actually posted anything to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows, if I was starting all over again
But
today,
it
I would do
also
something
doesn't just
different.
keep you in like a box. So
Right,
when you,
right,
yeah,
right. Yeah, I don't want to just, I mean, I love movies and I can talk about them forever, but I want to be able to talk about other things too.
mm-hmm.
So, and like your channel, you're always throwing out different things. Like I said, I love
Yeah,
how diverse your collecting is. You
it's
have,
very diverse. I got
yeah.
my, like you said, I got my tapes. I've got my vinyl, my dolls, my horror, all that sort of things.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, and then I've got like I don't. I'll say it now, but like probably soon my next video will be my horror book collection.
Oh, cool.
So, because
Cool.
like a lot of people don't realize like I love horror, but I have a ton of horror books over there that you can't see.
So that's interesting that you bring that up because there's a couple people I started following. So I'm so used to the BlueTube community,
Hmm.
the movie community, but there's it was kind of funny. They ran into a couple people and they're booktubers,
Yeah.
and they're all about books and what they're reading. And there's a couple that specialize in horror books. And
Hmm.
so there's a couple that I've just recently picked up. I'm a slow reader. I'll admit that. So I do a lot of audiobooks.
Hmm.
But there's a couple I just picked up from some of their videos, and I'm looking forward to digging into them. But that'd be cool to hear. I'd love to hear, sometime that'd be an interesting video. I think if you put out some of your books that you really
Yeah.
enjoyed or recommend.
Yeah. I have a few that I can recommend, and then I have a few that I can that are on my shelf over that I need to read because I've got like a lot of horror, and then I have like the dark romance, goth books because
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's besides horror, I love my goth and that sort of stuff.
No, that's awesome. And that was so a couple I'm going to have on next month is Jess and Warren, and they're a couple that I met through Tim and
Hmm.
April. Tim Talkies,
Hmm.
and she's dabbling into going into like the book YouTube thing. She does things on Instagram, but so one I'm going to do a live stream with them next month where,
Hmm.
and it'd be kind of cool to hear your version on some of this too, I think, where
Okay.
I told them, I thought I'd do one with them where they'd pick out, like she'd maybe pick out a couple books that like, if you like this movie, you should check this book out. You might dig this. Or
Okay.
with him, he's more vinyl records and like the music. And it's like, okay, if you like that movie, check out this album, like if the soundtracks kind
Oh.
of jam together or something.
Oh,
But
that's great. That'd be cool.
so even like you, if you have your collection,
Hmm.
if you go through like sorry, I'm not like, oh, tell you what to do, but
I know these are great ideas.
it'd be like cool to hear like, I love this horror movie. And if you love it too, like this is a book that you might really get into and
Hmm.
kind of have that, if this, then that kind of a
Yeah, two
suggestion.
different, genres of physical media that, like I like this movie or like I like this book. Maybe I'll watch that movie or vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. So, or even like maybe it's book like adaptations that are really well done that it's like
Hmm.
okay, but like the book takes it to another level or something
Yeah, like
like
most
that.
people don't know that The Ruins is based on a book, that horror movie.
Oh
Like I
sure.
have the book over there. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
But I personally haven't read the book, and that's why I have it so I could read it. And that's actually like an idea I have for my channel is, and I was going to start off with The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker, compare
Oh,
the movie to the book. So there are two vastly different stories that are being told. So that was like an idea that I have written in my like notes. The Hellbound Heart and Hellraiser. Like, Clive Barker wrote the book, but he also produced and wrote the actual Hellraiser. But they're very, very different stories,
yeah.
in my opinion. Yeah.
So I don't know the book. So that's like things that I'd be interested in too
Mm-hmm.
as well. It's like, okay, yeah, the movie was great. Well, the book, it was
Like,
maybe
oh.
based on it.
Mhm.
If you like that, you might really dig this too. And it's different enough where it's worth checking out on its
Mhm.
own. So yeah, cool. No, I'd love to. So that's something you maybe will have rolling out, like some
Yeah,
going into
those are
your
the
book
two
collection a little bit.
idea. Yes, those are the two ideas I have on the table. I just need to sit down, write my thoughts out on the book and the movie, and then, pull out all the books and, just actually go through like my horror book collection. And
And to just find the time in life to be able to do that
yes,
as well. So
exactly.
no, absolutely. I completely understand. No, I'm excited to hear that. So that's one thing that has been cool about what you're putting out is you're not confined to one little space. It
Hmm.
feels like you cover a lot of different things. And
Hmm.
I, I, I like that freedom, I guess. I hope I can kind of do that with my channel or Instagram as well too. So
I think you can if you just, stick with what you like and what like makes you, your personality happy, as I should like to say, you should
yeah,
be able to.
yeah. Oh, well, we'll try that out. I'm still working at it, but no, I'm excited to see some new stuff coming out. What you got rolling out, but
Thank you.
oh, Mika was saying 19 years and 24 years, awesome. Yep, for
For yeah, for our
our spouses
relationship.
putting up with
Yeah.
us, or they're putting up with us, or them, or
Hmm.
with us, vice versa, whatever. Saying hi. Okay, we're getting down here again. I really dig the love show. Yep, really dig probably live shows. Yep.
Yeah. I know what. Yeah, that's kind
Yep.
of what he meant.
I have trouble reading. But my next concert is towards the end of August. I'm so excited. Oh, Allie, you'll have to throw in there what it is.
Hmm.
Tiger Blue, how we doing? Hi,
Oh.
Corey. Hi, Miss Jess. Hi, chat. All right. So I know I talk way too much and I love just chit chatting, but we can dive in. I know we're kind of watching the time a little bit here too. I want to be conscious of your time and respectful of that. So I know tonight we had a few different movies that we were looking at
Hmm.
watching, and one of them jumped out at me because it was one that I bought quite a while ago, and I just had sitting on the shelf, and I thought it'd be a great excuse to finally get that checked off the, check the box that I watch it. But we threw out House of Wax.
Yes, House of Wax. I still have my DVD, and I don't want to get rid of it because I'm not a slip
That's a nice
person,
one.
but I love that slip cover is just how it's embossed and everything.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
So I still have my DVD, and I don't have the Blu-ray. So, but I like my DVD, so I'm happy.
Oh,
As long as I own it, I'm happy.
I love it. No, that's the thing. And I've seen so many DVDs that still look okay to me, or,
Hmm.
as long as you have the movie and you can watch it. Sometimes I'm a little slower upgrading, or especially Blu-rays to 4Ks when
Hmm.
it's like, when the choice is upgrade this one that I already have and I could watch, or get a new movie that I don't have in the collection and bring it in.
Hmm.
Yeah. So if you're happy with it and you got a cool slip on there like that, it's kind of
Yeah,
nice to be able to keep that around and do that. So,
yeah, I'm
um,
happy. That makes me happy.
so this obviously it was a first time watch for me.
Hmm.
It was a rewatch for you.
Yes,
So what do you remember seeing this for the first time?
I do, and I will admit I hated it.
Okay.
I
I want to hear
absolutely
about
hated
it.
it. It was rough for me to get through. I think I had to stop it, honestly, towards the end of the movie, like where the main character, the brother and the sister are in the tunnels and they're trying to get away from, the guy in wax. I'm like, little did I know I only had like maybe half hour left, but I had to stop it there. And I'm like, I can't handle this anymore. It's just, And I think it was mostly because I cannot, even to this day, like I love the movie now, but to this day, I cannot stand the girl that is the lead actress in this movie. I just don't
Okay.
like her acting.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, I wanted to throw stuff at the TV, at her. She just acted annoyingly. I'm like,
It's one of
I'm
those
like,
movies.
I was happy when she got her finger cut off. Let's just say.
Hey, it's all right. It's you always have those guilty pleasures with some movies where you're like, oh, yep, they got
Hmm.
it, so it's
Hmm.
okay. But this movie is dripping early 2000s
Yes.
horror or whatever you want to call it. I'd say horror.
Yeah.
But it's just dripping in it. And I love it. I can just, I don't know. It's fun to go back and watch these. So, I mean, anything from the soundtrack, I was
Uh
digging a
huh.
lot of music that was being played in
Uh
that.
huh.
And I
Yeah.
had to go back and look up the soundtrack on my streaming app to go through a couple.
It's a great soundtrack. And I'm glad that we're talking about it because I
Yeah.
was going to bring it up, but I do own a soundtrack, and I think um, in the 2000s, like those sort of like with horror, it sort of died. Like I
Yeah.
wish we got the soundtracks we did then that we do now, but we don't.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shame, but yeah, I think
It's
it's a great soundtrack.
I do too. Absolutely. Because there was anything from My Chemical Romance to like
Marilyn
was it
Manson,
Deftones?
Deftones.
Deftones.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of good. I love some early 2000s
Mm-hmm.
rock, alt rock, type of music. So there was a lot of that. I was like, oh yeah, but like you said, you don't have that a lot of times in horror movies now, where and maybe it's money, like licensing to be able to
Like
do them
exactly, probably.
to do it. But it seems like late 90s, early 2000s, they would throw out like, let's make just a heck of a soundtrack. And they would like maybe throw in a handful of them, but then they'd have a bunch more on like the CD you could buy later. But
Mm-hmm.
there was so many times I was just talking on one of my previous shows, we were talking about how I remember a couple movies that I wanted to go see because I started hearing the soundtrack for it ahead of time, where they were playing the music leading up
Mm-hmm.
to it on the
It draws you
radio.
in.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was like, I didn't know if that was only me or not, but do you ever remember like hearing some songs leading up to it and they play it in the trailers or whatever, and they're
Yes.
playing it on the radio, and then you're like, you get kind of hyped up for it and want to go see the
Mm-hmm.
movie.
Exactly. Queen of the Damned is a good soundtrack, and that's one of those ones where it's like, wow.
They just don't do it anymore.
No,
It's got to be a money thing, I think, with the licensing,
you're probably right.
but man, there was early 2000s. They had a lot of those. So anyway, that jumped out at me right away because like opening credits right off the
Mm-hmm.
bat,
I
and
believe
then
it's the Deftones in the opening credits of the
yeah,
movie
I believe so.
Minerva. I love that song.
Yep, yep. And then there was a few others sprinkled within that, but I remember My Chemical Romance in there at one point, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no. Anyway, that had it going for it right away. So like
Hmm.
when I said it's like dripping in that 2000 early 2000s. I love
I,
that.
I call it 2000s camp because that's what it is.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So they had the music going. They had the wardrobe, the outfits, within there.
Everything.
It just fit so well with
I mean,
it.
that wax, the wax museum, I thought
Yeah,
that looked amazing.
I did too.
It,
That
it
was
did
cool.
great. And a lot of people are like, and personally, I've always liked Paris Hilton, and I thought she was great in this movie.
I've heard that from so many different people. I've heard that from so many different people where they're like, almost don't want to admit that they liked her in the movie, kind
Hmm.
of a thing where they, um, but that was something too. Oh gosh, I can't remember who was telling me about this, but on a different stream, this movie came up, and I think it's where it came up that I hadn't seen it before. And Allie and a few other people jumped in. It was like, oh, you got to see this.
Hmm.
But somebody was saying that they were even advertising, kind of doing a promo like, oh, you should go see this movie because you can see Paris Hilton get killed. And I'm like,
Yes,
that's so dark. That is so
it's very
dark.
dark. I believe I remember that, yeah. And I think that is actually, I always thought that was Paris Hilton on the cover, but
It
I'm
looks,
not sure. It looks like her unless
I,
it was designed to look like her. I don't know.
I think it looks like her. To me, it
I think
did.
to me it did. It doesn't
Yeah.
look like the other girl at all.
No, I wouldn't say either. But to me, I think of her when I look at that. But
Mm-hmm.
so no, anyway, this was like it was so fun. It's a throwback. Early 2000s
Mm-hmm.
horror movie, a lot of bad decisions being made and a lot of tropes probably that get played out once in a
Yeah.
while, but I had fun with it. So,
It's a fun movie.
so you said you had a hard time getting through it, when you initially saw it. Some of
Yes.
it was the lead actress, it sounded
Yes.
like. So was it like a rewatch that you started enjoying it more, or what got you turned over where you liked
After
it?
I watched it for the second time, I was just like, okay, ignore her and just watch the movie. And
Yep.
then that's when I was like, okay, this movie actually isn't that bad. It's great and I love it. It's campy. It's got a great soundtrack. So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, and I was like, and honestly, Paris Hilton is the reason why I wanted to watch that movie in the first place because I've always liked Paris Hilton. So,
It was just so funny because I just remember so many people almost being ashamed that they're like, "Oh, yeah, I kind of liked her in this movie." I'm like, it's okay, it's all right. Like you don't have to like be buddies with somebody to like the movie
yeah.
that they're in. But
And honestly, she has one of the best deaths. So, bravo to her.
oh, that was that was pretty killer, like literally killer.
Hmm.
But no, I agree too. And that's I don't know if we're going into spoilers on some of this stuff or not, but it's like that was one that is a little more gruesome and it was a little
Hmm.
more inventive, I guess, out of some of the others that were in the movie. But
And they probably did it that way so that way people would like actually go to watch it, and be like, "Oh, Paris dies in this movie." But hopefully, we're not going to watch this movie and be let down because she just gets like stabbed and that's it.
yeah,
They probably had to be creative and inventive with her death, and
we
they
got
were,
to do
and
it.
it's a great one. It's a great, great way to be killed off.
We got to do it in a big way,
Yeah, go
in
big or go home. It's Paris
yep,
Hilton.
in a memorable way. Yep, absolutely. So now is this one that you go back to very often to rewatch or?
Actually, it gets rotated off and on
Yeah,
frequently. It's one of my favorite 2000 horror films.
yeah,
Yeah, so definitely I watch it quite a few times.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad I have it on my shelf. We'll say that.
Okay.
And I wish I wouldn't have taken so long to get around to watch it, but it's so this is like a fun one. So you get horror movies that are stressful and like really, or for me anyway, there's some that are stressful and they're hard watches. You might like
Hmm.
them, but it's a hard watch. This is like one that, whether it sounds bad, it's a fun watch. Like it's like you said, when you get the campiness in it, but in a
Hmm.
good way. It's fun. I could definitely see rewatching this one.
Yeah.
I had fun with it.
I think it's becoming more and more popular, as, now that we're getting, I guess the movie's getting older. Came
Oh,
out
it's
in what,
like,
2002?
or yeah, it's like almost 20 years old, I think.
Yeah. Or
Uh,
over.
Let me look here.
What does it say? 2005. So
2005.
it's
So
almost 20 years old.
yeah,
It's
19
19.
right now. Yeah. Wow. It took me 19 years to watch it, but I've heard about it so many times. But so have you watched the original House of
I
Wax?
do not. I have not, but I do own it.
Yep. So I have not seen that either. And I'm curious now to go back and to watch that one and just kind of compare and see how many,
Yeah, to see what
if
the
it's just the
difference is.
name or
Um, from what I gather, it's just a name. Like they're two
yeah,
different
compo-
movies.
yeah,
Just like I was gonna say, there's House on Haunted Hill.
yeah,
To me, they're different movies. They have like the same sort of like storyline, but they're different. To
yeah,
me, I think they're different.
yeah. I figured that was probably the case with this. It's just kind of hitting on the name and the very, very simple premise
Hmm.
of the wax, but and then going completely different with it. But no, I had a good time with it. Are there anything that you so besides the lead actress, is there
Hmm.
anything you would change of the movie that would make you enjoy it more, or you're just like, nope, I love it the way it is, except for we'll take the lead actress out of it because I know you said you weren't super excited about her.
Yeah. Mm, I don't think I would change anything else but her.
Yeah,
Yeah. Put somebody else in there. It's less annoying.
yeah,
because she still annoys me now, but I look past it, and I'm good now. I'm good.
She got her finger cut off, so it's okay.
Hmm.
Okay, I got to tell you, and whether it's a spoiler or not, but there's the scene. There's certain things that I can watch some graphic things and have no problem, but then there's some really simple things that make me cringe.
Hmm.
Not with this one. Well, the finger when that happened, because fingernail stuff cringes me out really bad in horror
Hmm.
movies. But there's a thing with her lips in this movie with some super glue.
Mm.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, because she's trying to scream for her brother, and he like flew her, and it's just like, yeah. Hmm.
Oh gosh. So it's funny how little simple things like that will make me cringe. Like I looked away a couple times because I was like, oh, I know what's coming. I know what's coming. And
Hmm.
but it's funny. I'll watch like way worse stuff and be like, oh, I'm fine. But do you
Or
ever
when
have
she's
that?
like trying to put her boyfriend, and she's like peeling
Oh
him off,
gosh,
and she's
yeah,
like, "Oh my god!" and she's like peeling it off, and he's like, you can just see him crying, and
yeah.
it just like his skin is just coming off with the wax.
Everything's coming off with it, and it's just like,
Hmm.
just stop picking at it.
Hmm.
You know?
She's still going.
Yep.
I'm like, see, she's annoying. It's like I would have stopped. I would have been like, ugh. I'd have been like, sorry, bro.
You're there's nothing I can do for you.
Hmm.
So do you have anything that, and I know it's going off of this movie a little bit, maybe it's something in this one, but do you have anything that pops up in horror movies that are just like your point where it might not seem or sound like that bad of a thing, but it's just like, I cringe every time I see that. Like I said, if it's anything with fingernails, I have a hard time. That with the super glue with her lips, that I cringed and looked away. And I don't know. Do you have anything that has popped up in any horror movies that you're watching that you're just like, it might not on the surface seem like it's that bad of a thing, but I just can't do it.
Um,
And it's okay if you haven't. I
I
just
don't
curious.
think so. Not
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
Yeah.
No, not that I can think of.
So is it hard for you to get squeamish in a horror movie at this point, or do you still
No,
get it and you
because
enjoy it?
I'll give you two examples. When I first watched Terrifier,
Mm.
after the scene with the saw,
Mm.
I had to turn it off and stop it right there because I thought it was a little bit much. I'm like, I don't think I can watch this. And
Yeah,
so I stopped it right there, and then I picked it up the next night because I was like, oh, I'm going to bed. And then recently, the first Omen, I got so grossed out because there's a part where the demon is being birthed and they show everything.
mm.
And I'm like, ew. And then the lady next to me just started laughing. And she was just because they show everything from the top to the back. And I'm like, it's not, and it's barely a split second, but that split second like grossed me out. I'm like, ah.
Yep.
So,
So
yeah.
I recently saw that in the theater too. So
So you know what part I'm talking about.
yeah, yep,
Hmm.
exactly. Yep.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I understand. I'm not gonna argue on that point at all. So
Hmm. And it wasn't even gory.
no, but that's what I mean. Like, so there's some things that might not sound like they're that over the top, but they
Hmm.
just hit you in a way that make you squeamish, or you got to look away a little bit. And I think there's some filmmakers that put some of those things in there, and they do a really good job with it with horror movies where it's not over the top gore or crazy nasty, but it's just enough where it makes you squeamish a little bit, and you got to look away for a
Did you
second.
watch Thanksgiving?
I have not. I have it,
Okay.
and I have not watched it yet.
Because now that you think about it, there's this part where she's jumping on the trampoline, and I was like, every time she like jumped, and the knife would be there, and she almost because
I can
she
imagine.
was doing some pretty risque things on that trampoline, thinking it was for her boyfriend, and I'm like, oh god. I was just like, oh no, no, and it didn't happen, but still, I was like, with that knife and the trampoline, I was like, ah, I was like, I'm like, if it's gonna happen, just make it happen. Quit, prolonging the inevitable.
Stop messing with me and just do it.
Hmm.
So I know this is off topic, but is that a movie I should move up on my watch list? I mean,
It's
did
such
you
that I love
enjoy
that
it?
movie. That was
Okay.
such a great slasher. I would totally move that up on your watch list.
So
Even though it's set in Thanksgiving, definitely bumped it up. Yeah.
okay. So that was one I bought used at a good price too.
Hmm.
So, but I'd heard so many good things about it. But All right, I'll have to do that. So,
Yeah.
so
Honestly, during that whole movie, I was either like, ah, ugh. Like my husband's sitting there laughing at me because he was like, he would laugh. He laughs at those parts.
oh sure.
Yeah. And we have those like in our theater, you have those buttons that recline.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's sitting on the side with the button and there's a part, a jump scare that's about to pop off, he'll be like, "Bzz," and he'll move my chair and then it'll intensifies the jump scare for me. I'm like, stop it.
Oh, he's got to mess with you a little bit.
Yes, he does. He does that to me all the time. So I make sure I'm sitting on this side of the.
That's funny. So I was messing with myself. So when I saw the first Omen, ours
Mm-hmm,
is the reclining seats and everything, but they
mm-hmm.
have heaters in them too. And I accidentally bumped the heater button on it when I was reclining back in it. And we were in about the first 15 minutes or so of the movie. And I'm like, I don't know. I felt something coming over me and I'm like, no, my back is just getting hot. I have this heater on, but it just was a weird thing where it was like, I don't know. Subliminally, I was thinking of something else where I was just like, oh man, this is really getting intense. And I'm like, no, I accidentally put a heater on my back.
You're like, wow, this movie's getting to me. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
it's
I
like,
excite like, wow, we're gonna have to come here more often. This is
I know.
intensified.
I was like, woo, this one's getting intense. But
Hmm.
no, awesome. So I know I'm moving off this movie, but before we move off of it, but I want to go back to the theater experience for just a second. But first, I know we kind of just briefly hit on this movie, but overall, I had such a good time with it. I had fun with it. I could see going back to it. Is this one that you're just like, if you want to have fun with a horror movie,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
this would be a definite recommend on your part to people?
Absolutely. And if you haven't seen this movie, I would definitely watch it, especially if you have 2000s horror. Absolutely watch House of Wax. Paris Hilton is great. Team Paris over here, just letting you know. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
That's awesome. But that's where like I said, there's so many people that I know watch this that were like, I hate her, but I almost don't want to admit I had fun with her in the movie. And just, but okay,
Hmm.
if we had to like every single person that's in a movie, there's probably not a lot of movies that we would watch, like
Yeah.
personally, so it's just separate the person from the movie and just go in and have fun and not think about it. But I still think that was so dark that they were like pushing a marketing campaign of like, you could see Paris Hilton get killed, kind of a thing. But
I kind of remember that, but I don't. Now I'm going to have to go back and research that after this just to see.
see, I don't remember it at all, but there was a live stream I was on where, like I said, it came up that I was like, oh, Corey, you haven't seen this? And they were bringing up that part of it. And they were like, they were just saying there were certain interviews or like marketing that they were leaning into the whole fact of like, you can see her get killed. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh, that's so dark.
That's for sure. Yeah. Like I said, I kind of do, but I kind of don't remember. So I'm going to have to like look that up.
No, we'll have to look that up. But overall, it's so much fun. Like I said, dripping with the early 2000s horror. You got the soundtrack, you got the style, you got bad decisions being made by
There we go.
characters, and
Hmm.
but it's fun all the way around. And um, I think the only thing I wish I got a little more backstory on was the family and the brothers that
Hmm.
are involved with it. I don't think, there's not a whole lot given like why it's going down this drastic of a
Yeah.
path, but
You get just like the
a,
smallest
a
a bit
little
of a
bit.
backstory, but
Yeah.
yeah, I
But
agree with you on that. That'd be, a little bit more.
yeah. But I think that's where sometimes some of those movies that are horror movies that are there to have fun, they're asking you not to ask too many
Think too
questions.
much.
Yeah, don't think
Yeah.
about it too much. Just go in and have fun. And I did. So I had a lot
Hmm.
of blast. And I'm glad this was on the list to watch. So I had a really good
Watch.
time with it.
I'm glad.
So, all right. I know I'm moving off of it real quickly, but we were hitting on seeing some movies really recently in the theater.
Hmm.
Do you get out to the theater often or?
Not as often as I used to.
Okay.
It's a very here and there. Like I would say, like we saw Thanksgiving, and then honestly, after that it was I saw Lisa Frankenstein, and then after that we saw the first Omen. So it's not often that I go to the theater unless I'm
Yep.
like, oh, I really want to watch this.
Yeah. So that's what I have not. Well, this year I've tried to go out a little bit more. already, but
Mhm.
it's really not that much. But I saw Last Omen or
Mhm.
First Omen. I keep on saying Last Omen, but
Mhm.
First Omen. Um, Abigail.
Oh, I want to watch that.
It
Yeah,
was
that
fun.
just
It was
came out.
fun. Yeah. Uh, I would say that's along the lines of. I'm not saying it's the same movie, but if you had fun with like House of Wax,
Hmm.
it's like along those lines where it's horror, but having some fun and throwing some jokes in a little bit
Okay.
along the way. So it's one you can have fun with, or at least I
Okay.
did anyway. So I had fun with it. And then Civil War was another one that I just recently
Hmm.
went out and saw. Kristen Dunst, I thought, did a really good job in that movie. But that one is not as fun. That's more
That's
depressing.
more serious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So if you want to have some fun and have a little gore, Abigail is a good one
Hmm.
to check out. So um, I keep on always forgetting her name, but oh gosh, one of the gosh, I'm blanking on her name. That's in the movie. She's been in Lisa Frankenstein too. Catherine
Oh,
Newton.
Catherine. Yeah,
Newton.
she's in that
I'm
one.
I'm having fun with her. I like some of the movies that she's been coming out with. So
Yeah, I noticed that she was in Lisa Frankenstein, and then I saw the preview, so I'm like, hey. So
yeah,
yeah, I definitely want to see Abigail. It's on my like I want to watch list.
yeah. And she was oh gosh, what was the other one that she was in? Um, the time travel one.
Which one?
Oh gosh, I'm completely blanking right now. Sorry, I'm horrible. Where I'm but she was in Freaky, right?
Oh, that's
And
her.
then I think she's in Freaky, and then I'm trying to think if she was in. Oh, there's another one that was like a time travel one that I can't remember if it was her or not. Totally Killer, was that her, or am I thinking? No, that's
No,
somebody else. That's somebody else. That's somebody
that's
else.
somebody
Sorry.
else.
Yeah, sorry, but I think she was in Freaky. But anyway, I
I
know
love
just enough to
Freaky.
say
I like that movie.
see, that's another fun one where it's a
Mm-hmm.
horror movie, but they kind of poke some jokes and
Mm-hmm.
um, have a good time with it. So I had a fun time with it. But do you have any actors or actresses right now that are kind of so there, it seems like there's a string of them that are popping up in a lot of movies lately,
Mm-hmm.
or TV or streaming services. Is there anybody you're really following right now that you like? Oh, I really like her or him and want to see more from them. If you don't,
No,
that's fine.
no,
Yeah.
not currently. No.
Do you think
There's
any of them are being overused?
uh
I see.
everybody says Jenna Ortega is in
Ah,
everything, and I
that's
agree with that.
okay. That was
I
the
agree with
first one
that.
that came to my mind.
Um, but if you've never seen, it's like a slow burn horror movie. It's a Tubi original, and it's got the girl actually from Scream, the her the plays her sister, Melissa something.
Oh
It's
yeah,
called Bed Rest. If you haven't watched that movie and you like ghost stories, it's free on Tubi. I highly recommend it. I had a fun time with it.
Bed Rest.
Yeah,
Oh, is that she's in Abigail then too, isn't she? That
Melissa.
Melissa is it Herrera or
I know it's Barreras. I think it's Barrera. I don't know.
Barrera? Barrera. Yep, Melissa Barrera.
Yeah.
She's in Abigail as well.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, but she does the Tubi original movie. We saw it like back in October. It was a fun little ghost movie. So if you haven't seen it, I would watch it. It's fun.
I have not seen it, and I have written it down. Like I said, I always have a pen and a pad of paper here because I always come away with some good recommendations from people, and I love doing. That's why I love doing this. But
Hmm.
so, what do you have? I know I want to be respectful of your time. I know we're kind
Hmm.
of coming up on an hour and a half at this point, but
Hmm.
do you have anything on the horizon? I know you talked about the ladies maybe getting a video coming out in the next month or so. Do you have anything on the horizon that you want to
Yes.
throw out there for people?
Just maybe be on the lookout for the books. Part of my collecting. Coming eventually. Shout out to the ladies that are here. We need to pick a date because we said like May, but we haven't set a date because we're like we need we need to get together and figure that out. But as of right now, that's really all I've got on the agenda.
Okay. And I know every single person you add to that group, it's harder and harder to coordinate a time. And that's not
Mhm.
anything against anybody else. It's just you know how busy your life is. And then when
Mhm.
you multiply it by another person and then another, and then, it's like you get to the point where so anyway, I'll look forward to that. And I'm looking forward to your, diving into your books. Like I said, I'm getting into that a little bit more. I go
Mhm.
into the audiobooks a bit more, but, that's the same thing to me. So if you
And
throw
no,
out
it
a
is. It
book that,
totally
yeah,
is. Mhm.
yeah, I just, find it's an easier way for me to get through, the media, but,
Mhm.
so I tell you what, I know we're hitting the time here real quick. Are you
Mhm.
okay running through chat for just real
Oh yeah,
quick?
no. I could,
Okay.
I could, stay on like 10 more minutes. I'm good.
Okay. I just, like I said, it's never any hard feelings, but I know everybody's time is precious, and, there's also sleeping involved
Mhm.
sometimes in the day, and I don't want to keep you too long, but, I've had a blast. So hopefully you
Mhm.
had a good time with this, but
Yes, I had a great time so far.
awesome. Awesome. Um, like I said, some of these are probably from a while ago, but, Allie was saying I'm seeing the band Wallows for the third time. Okay,
Nice.
cool. I know that's one of your favorites. You've thrown them out before when I've talked to you about music. So, oh, Dell was in here. I don't know if you're
Hey,
still in
Dad.
here. That's a while ago, but what's up, man?
Mhm.
Thanks for dropping in. We'll just see if there's any that I'm missing here. Like that Jess isn't a format snob like me. Joe was saying. I don't know, Joe. You're all over. You got a lot of different formats too, man.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I'd call you a format snob because you collect lots of different formats. All right, we'll see if I just don't want to miss anybody here. Tell us, WTF, Corey? Since when do you start talking about an actual movie before 3 hours? Hey, there's a first time
He's
for
full of
everything.
surprises.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Alex saying the scene where Bo cuts off. Oh yeah, we were talking
Thank you,
about that
Allie. Thank you.
because you see it coming too, and you know what's going to
Mhm.
happen. But you just those are some of those where you just start, or at least I was kind of cringing a little bit because you see the snippers that he's got in his hand.
Mhm.
But absolutely, Tiger Blue was saying she was reaching up through that metal grate. I recall. Yes,
Mhm.
because that's when the super glue with the lips and she couldn't yell. But that still gets me too. It's funny how the little thing like that will bother me, but then
Mhm.
something way, way more over the top, I'm like, okay with.
Yeah, like you said, versus peeling off like that guy, your boyfriend.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was definitely up there as well. Long time since I saw this one, starting to come back. Yep. Well, it was the first time for me. I was slow to get around there, so we'll get wrapping her up here. Sorry.
Oh no, we're good. We're good.
Okay. You should give it a rewatch, Tiger Blue. It's a fun time. Yep. Fun fact: C. Paris Hilton Dye was used in lots of promotions for House of Wax. She understood lots of people hated her, and was a good sport about it.
Well, at least she was a good sport about it.
Hey, I'm sure she got a decent paycheck out of the deal. So,
Mhm.
uh, man, that just seems so messed up, though. Like, but if you're just like we're trying to promote the movie and I guess if that gets people in the seats.
It, yeah.
I like Paris as Paige. Her death scene is iconic. Yeah, we were just
Mhm.
talking about that. How if she's in there and they were going to promote her dying, at least it was a memorable one, and
Yep.
it was. She had one of the best, probably kills.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
Her
yeah,
death was probably one of the best ones.
yeah. Absolutely, I agree with you completely. Dell was saying, me, Corey. I just repeated it. Okay. I love the opening scene so much. I'm trying to remember the actual opening scene of the.
They're sitting at it look if I remember correctly, they're sitting at like a burger joint. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
just like that aerial view shot panning down like that.
Yep. Yep. I got you. Yep. It's funny too when you go back to these movies and they have all the characters in those stereotypical roles. You got
Mhm.
like kind of the jock, you got the pretty girl, you got the dropout bad boy, you got the I don't know. It's just kind of funny when you can make fun of them a little bit, but that's where it's like I had so much fun diving back into it. Jane Doe Latte. Hey, how we doing?
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Hey, Corey and Jess. Hey, Mom. Not my mom, but my mom in spirit.
You
From
see, I've heard that, Allie, that it's more closer to Tourist Trap than it is, the a remake of the House of Wax. I've heard about that.
oh, okay. So Tourist Trap is one I'm going to be watching in early May with another couple that I'll have
Oh,
on
nice.
my stream. So I'm looking forward to that. And I remember Allie jumping out and saying that was a good one, but I have not seen it yet either. So, yep. In Love with Horror is a couple that I'll
Okay.
be doing that with. So Dalton was actually the character that was peeling. Oh, okay. But either way, that was just weird when they started peeling the
Peeling
wax.
it off,
Yeah.
yeah.
And everything else was coming off with it too.
And it was just like all stringy.
hmm and you're just like, stop, stop. Dell was saying violence against teeth almost always makes, oh, yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
Mm.
There's some rough ones I can think of. But I don't know. There's certain things, like I said, fingernails is one for me.
Yeah.
I can't
I'm
do
trying to
that.
think if there's any other movies where they pull fingernails off, but I can't off the top of my head.
There's some like zombie movies where,
Ugh, it's all scratchy.
well,
Okay,
and
yeah.
they're
Ugh.
starting to like turn and they're like pulling it away. And
Mm-hmm.
I got to think of some examples, but I just know I've seen some where I'm just like, got to look away for a second. The way they dragged out the scene in The Quiet Place of the mom stepping barefoot on that nail was nerve wracking. Yeah, I could see that for sure. I was saying the knife coming up through the trampoline in Thanksgiving actually reminded me of Vincent getting Paige's heel. Oh, yeah, in House of
Mm.
Wax. So, yeah, there was that point where she was walking around in that warehouse and the knife comes up through.
Oh
There's like a
yeah.
metal grate before Paris Hilton's character gets killed off. But
Yep.
nope, I remember that. What do you think of Roadkill pit scene? Anybody need a hand? Yeah, and they jump in the truck with that guy too.
Yeah. It's like, oh, he's not, a red flag.
Yeah, right. He's dumping off dead carcasses of animals and getting right in the middle of it and joking around about like, hey, you need a hand? Yeah, I'd probably pass on that
Hmm.
that ride. Bo and Vincent are my favorite characters. I've always wanted a prequel about their family, the Sinclairs.
That'd make a good movie.
So that's I think I was kind of saying earlier where that's
Hmm.
the only thing I wish I could have had a little more story of what was going on with them and why they went so far off the rails kind of a thing. I know they showed it in the movie where the parents were being strict on the one and
Yeah, favoring one over the other.
mhm mhm but just to not know, I could see that. I'd like getting some more info on that. I was saying I'm seeing Abigail on Saturday. I'm excited for it.
Ooh, how
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah, I want to
Do
get
you
to that one.
do you think you're going to go out to the theater to watch it or wait for it to come out?
Um, I'm probably gonna wait for it to come out.
Yeah. It's anymore it doesn't take too much to wait because waiting now is not that long. It comes out
No,
so fast. And
like you get it probably like in about a month it'll be on streaming, and then after that we'll get it on Blu-ray. So yeah, you don't have to wait. Like before, it was like 3 months before you even got like a physical release of anything.
right. And now it's crazy how fast they turn them over.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a fun watch. So I could see waiting for it to come out. I only watched it because I was on a stream where we were reviewing. That was one of the movies we were going to talk about, and so I needed to get
Oh,
out to the
okay.
theater to watch it. Which I didn't mind to go to see it, but it gave me more incentive to actually get out to the theater to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it was good. It was a fun one. K Man in here saying, "Hey
Hey,
everyone,
Caveman.
hey K Man." Okay, I'll run through here real quick. The opening scene I was talking about was footage of young Bo and Vincent as kids in the kitchen with the parents. Okay, so the one was behaving themselves and the other was acting up, and they were strapping them down, and
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing I remember too with the straps. And then later on, you see the guy and you can see the marks on his
On
wrist
his wrist, yeah.
as an adult, but Oh, here you go. Marathon Man would be teeth cringing. Yep. They do have a scene there. Did I hear Miss Jess mention the
Mm-hmm.
ruins?
Yes,
When I
I did mention it.
so I saw that for the first time at the weekend, and was surprised how much I enjoyed it, but would change the ending slightly.
I haven't seen the movie in quite some time, so I don't know. But yes, he did mention the ruins, and it is based off of a book.
I don't think I've seen that one yet. I'll have to write that down too.
I'm trying to remember. It's another 2000s horror, and I'm trying to think who's in it. I can't recall off the top of my head.
I don't think I've seen that one. So the one that came to my mind right off the bat, and I know it's the wrong one, but have you ever seen? And it's a foreign film, like our international film with subtitles, but it's Blue Ruin.
Blue Ruin. No, I haven't even heard of it.
Oh, that's that'd be one. I enjoyed that one. That was one that,
Okay, Blue
yeah,
Ruin. After, yeah,
yeah. As long as you're good with subtitles. I don't know. They might have an English dub
yeah.
of it, but
I'm fine with subtitles.
I've enjoyed them quite a bit. Like once I got over that hurdle, I had a
Mm-hmm.
good time with them. So ask it, caveman, if it was safe. Ali was saying, fun fact: in the finale, when the House of Wax is melting, the wax is actually peanut butter. Oh, I did not know that.
Is that in the behind the scenes making of? Because that's what's on. Ugh. It's I don't know. There's I like the I like watching the special features on these.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it might be on here. Wax on the design of House of Wax, so it might be in there.
I'll have to look at mine. Like I said, I just opened this up when we were talking about it, and
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to watch it. I like watching it close to when we're going to talk about it, so I just actually watched
Mm-hmm.
it earlier today. But I'll have to go back and look at the special features on my Blu-ray and see if they have something about that on there. So, Kim, I was saying, hit the like button. Thank you. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
and subscribe to these people. Make sure you go out to Miss Jess. Check her out. Blue Ruin is in English. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, as long as I'm
After
thinking of
right.
the right one. But either way, it was a good movie. I had fun with it. It was the same director as Green Room. Okay. And Green Room is another one I have sitting on my shelf that I have not watched yet. But
Is that the one with Elijah Wood? Or no?
it's got
No, that's Great
Anton.
Street Hooligans. Never
It's
mind.
got Anton Yelchin in it, and uh, Patrick Stewart. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Anton Yelchin and I think Patrick Stewart's like one of the not so good people in that movie.
Okay. Now
Yep.
I'm remembering what it is now.
That one I've heard is pretty brutal. I have not, like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I haven't watched it yet, but I heard it's a pretty brutal one. So, but okay, I know we hit our time here.
Okay.
I I I love hanging out and doing this. So, but I want to be respectful of your time. I appreciate you all the time that you've been able to spend on this. It was
Yeah.
fun hitting this movie and getting to know you a little bit better. Um,
I had
I
a great
hope
time.
I hope you did. I hope you
I
did.
did. I really did.
So you said you got a few things coming out here
Mm-hmm.
with the ladies. You got some video maybe coming out with them. You're diving into your books, your horror
Mm-hmm.
collection of books with that.
Yes.
Are we going to see some more of the concerts that you got coming up here too?
Yes.
Uh,
I'll probably even do like if I have enough. We'll see. What I've gotten from each show, if I get anything from each show, because I picked up a vinyl record the other night. And we'll see what I get over the next three that are coming up.
yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably even do like what I got at a concert. Talk about it a little bit. That sort of thing.
Well, that's awesome. I love seeing that, and I love seeing the mix of your interests that you're putting out on your
And I'm the same
media.
with other people. I like seeing, people have, just, create a bubble and they live in that bubble. But I also want to see like, what else do you collect? Like what other interests do you have? Like some people, like other movie collectors are like also like in gaming and,
Hmm.
like I said, myself, I love my dolls. I love my tapes. I love my horror. I love books. concerts, music, vinyl, like, I have, more than just, movies about myself. So I like seeing that about other people too, because then it's like, oh, you like horror, but you like movies, soundtracks, let's talk about this soundtrack, that sort of thing. Music, like you were talking about that earlier, and even behind the stage, we're talking about music and that sort of stuff. So,
Yeah.
having, other things to talk about, and, finding, more commonality between somebody else is great.
It's okay to like more than
Other,
one thing.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
It seems like some people, I think they feel like they get trapped into that one spot. They still like that spot, but that sometimes they feel like they can't expand outside of that. And I'm one that loves hearing, like you said, it's great to hear other people's interests, and you get to know them better, the different things that they're into. So
mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
love that you have a mix of that you're throwing out there. And
Thank you. I try to keep it, different, change it up, show
yeah,
everything that I like.
yeah, absolutely. So, well, I tell you what, we hit the time. If you don't mind hanging on for just a moment,
Oh
but
yeah, no.
I'll say, thank you again so much for spending the time with me. Time is precious. And, I thank you so much for spending, almost a couple hours here with me tonight. I appreciate it so much. I had so much fun hanging out
I
with
had
you.
I had a great time too, and you're welcome. And thank you for having me on. Mhm.
Thank you. But everybody that's been in the chat, or if you're joining on a replay of this, thank you so much for spending your time as well checking this out. I appreciate it. Make sure you go out to, I have links in the description for Jess, for her YouTube channel and her Instagram page. Please go out, check her out if you haven't already, and see what she's putting out. She, like I said, it's a fun, diverse group of content of what you're collecting, what you enjoy, anything from movies to toys to collectibles to concerts that you're seeing. She's definitely worth checking out, and I've had a great time following you and getting to hang out with you tonight here for a little
Well,
bit.
thank you.
So, but anybody hanging out here, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you all here soon.
Good night.
Yep, good night.